Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Asif Khan and I am by profession I am a cyber security professional. So I would like to start my topic with quotation. One of my sister already spoken with. I don't kill. It's generally a quotation by all the fathers who say like, if I don't kill her today, tomorrow she will kill me financially, or someone else will burn her for the sake of dowry. This is the normal reaction of all the fathers. But in the same thing, when we talk about a Muslim father, the thing is completely different. Okay, I'm not talking about a father who are from India or from Pakistan, but let's assume a father from Saudi Arabia or people who are completely following Islam. When a girl is born in such a country, the father becomes happy because they know when the girl will be getting married, she will be the one who will be receiving the money. As the Quran says, and give the woman their dower obligation bridally gift happily. So Quran, Allah is instructing the Muslim men when at the time when they are getting married, they need to pay the dower meher to the girl, which is a sort of a security. At the same time, I would like to, like most of the people here are like quoting, it's a thing coming up from the ancient India and all these things. I would just like to even quote some of the things from where exactly this thing is coming up. So, as per my research, I have quoted certain things from Rig Veda. So, the Vedas prescribe that a dowry be given by the bride's family to the groom. The Rig Veda states that cows and gifts given by the father of the bride to the daughter, to the marrying man. It is quoted in Rig Veda 10 and dot 85. Same way, there is another thing, Kakshivat, which says that he became rich by father-in-law, giving him 10 chariots and maids, and 106 cows during the marriage. And as the another thing is the ancient custom of Kanyadan is there, where the father will be presenting his daughter with jewelry and clothes at the time of her marriage. And Vardha Krishna, where the father presented the groom with kith and kin. So these are the things which generally I appreciate, like a lot of our non-Muslim people who are also getting against this particular evil. But still some people are there who quote these kind of things from the ancient scriptures, and they say, see, we are just following our own religion. So we need to make it assure like what exactly is the truth. And as far as the eradication of this social evil is concerned, until and unless the law of Allah is not established on the earth, it's not possible to eradicate this kind of evil. So we need to work on this thing as like it's a social evil. Even it's not specifically, as we all know, Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is came not only for Muslims. Okay, he even came for the non-Muslims. So we need to know what are the practices what he performed. The marriage of his daughter Fatima Raziyallahu Anha, what he did it with Ali Raziyallahu Anha. So Ali Raziyallahu Anha was very poor at the time when he got married. And even his sahabis. Another thing what important, generally what we are following in our society is that people are helping the girl's family, they are paying them money and they are making them habitual that you take this money and give it to the son. Okay, this is the very key point which you need to work on, because you are indirectly helping, making the girls and the boys dependent on this thing. You should make the boy capable of earning a good money, maybe helping him some sort of business. He is poor. That will be more beneficial. I would even like to quote something which I read it in Al Jazeera news channel. In the year 2010, there was a news published which was talking about 1600 Yemen men. They were unmarried. Men were struggling to get married. Why? Because they do not have enough money. So the men there, like almost they need to spend $5,000 for getting married. And so there was a group, some Muslim groups came up and they organized the marriage for all these Muslim groups. In the end, I would just like to say incident of Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu Anhu, wherein a man came to Hazrat Raziyallahu Anhu and he said that you will be, I am in need of a horse. So Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu Anhu said, nothing said at that time. The man left to his village. Later on, the companion of Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu Anhu, he came and he said, go and give this horse to that person. At the moment when the person was going and giving the horse, he stopped in between in some masjid, and he thought to pray or something like that. And at the same time, that person came and he stolen that horse. The same person for whom that particular horse was destined. So it's an example of halal and haram. Allah has already decreed when the boy or a girl is in the womb, the amount is already decreed in his stomach, okay, at the time when he is in stomach. So we need to be assured, our taqwa need to be so much strong that we should know that whatever Allah has destined, we will get it. Only thing is we need to be, we should need to differentiate what is halal and what is haram. Okay, thank you. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.